Since everything's expanding and growing so quickly with my YouTube channel and all the people getting on board with my cooperation, I'm getting all this amazing stuff coming to me. And a few weeks ago, every week it's new Sasquatch footage, new tracks, new information, new sightings. And this has blown my mind. I've analyzed it. I think it's real. It's not my photograph, but I'm looking at a 9'6" giant primate that matches what I've seen. I'm speechless. We're going to do a breakdown of it and much more. It's going to be an awesome episode. Stay tuned. Let's do this. I've taken out dozens of wildlife officers, PhDs, and had them live interact with Sasquatch on multiple occasions. Trained in the art of tracking by a Cree Nation's elder and a military sniper, my skill sets include camouflage techniques using the terrain and its features to mask ground movement, counter surveillance, survival, evasion, and escape techniques. First of all, I'd like to thank all the people that are helping out and getting involved and sending me photographs and videos and having sightings listed at bigfootencounter@gmail.com. My website is sylvanic.com. Holy cow, I am just speechless beyond words about this photograph that we're going to go into today. And so we're going to talk about, you know, a few things besides that, a few science things. I'm going to do something that's awesome, because this discovery, it's not cut and dry to me. I think I have all the answers. I do not. There's a lot of perplexing subjects to me, and I'm going to contradict myself today because these are facts that I'm seeing that contradict each other based on the science. So we're going to go first ask some questions about the cooperation and get into the science of it, and all of it will tie into this big enormous figure. I'm going to keep this all tied in together, so the question from the cooperation that's going to really blow your mind at the end of this video is, how fast can Sasquatch run? And in my experience, just straight to the point, they move lightning fast, incredibly fast sprinters. I've seen them chase off coyotes and foxes at sprints and catch them. And on the other side, I've seen trackways of them chasing down elk on foot and wearing out an elk and having better endurance than a giant elk. So these are things that don't really make sense, and part of a contradiction to what I've been seeing. So like, grizzly bears don't do great over long distances like an elk. An elk will outrun it. A wolf can take an elk down at long distances because they're smaller, and you know, wolves are what, 140 to maximum 190 pounds. They have the endurance of a dog. So this makes sense. There's a big contradictory going on with what I'm seeing with Sasquatch. So the answer is, they can, you know, from what I've seen in my experience, they can go great distances, and they're super lightning fast. Probably the coolest thing though that you should know is, and I've seen Sasquatch do this on multiple occasions, a sprinter runs out of blocks to get, you know, do the 100 meters, even the 200, they have blocks for that. And it generates significant power. I've seen Sasquatch on many occasions stare me down. I shouldn't say on many occasions, on multiple occasions, stare me down, look at me, and crouch up with a tree to use as a block to bolt off of, as he looks at me to go, make your move, my friend. So no animal does that. Nobody's ever seen any animal prop itself up against a tree and then use that tree to push off of to generate enormous velocity instantaneously. And if you ever saw how fast a gorilla moves over short ground with his arms, as he uses his arms to pull himself to get going fast, a Sasquatch using a tree like that to bolt off of makes him significantly faster with that crazy power that they have. So when they're ready and they're waiting for you over short distances and they've got a tree or a rock or something to bolt off of, they'll use it. That's what you're dealing with. Something that's not very highly intelligent and very anthropologically human-like. But that's what you're dealing with. That's how impressively, and the speed, it blows my mind. The infrasound that they have. You've got to be a fool to want to go to take this species on, to think people can go hunt it and track them. They're incredible and amazing and brilliant and fantastic. Do not, the big joke, messing with Sasquatch. You have no idea what you're in for. A highly specialized, highly evolved, highly intelligent Homo species, you know. So don't do it, and be afraid, have some reverence for them and respect, because they deserve it. They're an incredible, amazing species. So next off is to the art of Sasquatch. So let's get into that, one of my favorite topics. So today I have this photo that's been turned into me, and you know, something that comes to mind immediately every time there's a sighting, or especially a photographic evidence, specifically where you've actually seen one or you've actually been able to take a photograph of one, is, I would say, in my experience, based on what an exceptional, amazing species this is. And again, this is art stuff. This is not science. These are not facts, but just this is something based on just what a reverence and admiration I have of how amazing and spectacular they are. I think that I would say conservatively 98% of the time when you see a Sasquatch, it's because they wanted you to see him. It's because they wanted that occurrence to transpire 98% of the time. And that's, I mean, that's why when people say, hey, well, I saw a Sasquatch, I say congratulations. I say, you know, something special happened, that individual showed himself to you. So surely there's going to be that 2% of those erroneous, you know, things that are going to happen, that, you know, maybe a Sasquatch was injured, maybe you really did, something crazy happened, and you know, you did accidentally see him. So really that other 2% is just a seriously extenuating circumstance that you know, something major injury, you know, to Sasquatch fighting, like, you know, these are seriously extenuating circumstances that might allow a sighting to transpire. But you know, if you've seen a Sasquatch, you know, and had the privilege of filming one or actually visualized one, you know, again, just, I have to say congratulations. You know, it was the miracle of some incredible event, or highly likely that it was purposeful, that he'd been watching you and he knows that you're there, and maybe he's seen you many times and he respects and likes you. Remember, they live in the forest, blanketed by trees, when we walk around on the open trails and light fires in the middle of, you know, closed areas. So you know, either way, you see a Sasquatch, if you've seen one, you're very, very blessed. It's an extreme rarity, and again, that's why it's the first thing I say when I believe someone's had a legit sighting or a legit encounter or has a legit photograph like the one I think that we have today, is congratulations, and that's what I said to these people. So stay tuned. Next, I'm going to contradict myself significantly in the science of Sasquatch. Again, I love this, and I'm going to contradict myself because this is a discovery process, and there is so much to be learned, and I am so much in my infancy in this discovery, and so many other people are. There should never be the term Sasquatch expert. Who's out there, who's proved it, who's got it done? And maybe there is a Sasquatch expert that's proved it and got it done and doesn't want it to become public. I don't know. But as I was saying earlier, I've seen trackways of a Sasquatch walking or running down an elk and killing it, and I've seen how fast they move over acute short distances, and that doesn't make sense. A big giant, even to primatologists, a big giant, and as we're going to see today, what's substantiated this photograph that I'm looking at is he is bloody hell enormous. A 900 to 1,000 pound primate should not be able to run down an elk. And the trackway that I saw running down an elk was a big male, a 17-inch track approximately. He literally used, he's a big, massive, giant powerhouse, twice as strong as a gorilla. How could this giant, enormous primate have better endurance than an elk? If you know elk, they're not fast over short distances, but man, they could, when they got endurance in them, they will run till they fall down and die. So to think that they could do that is mind-boggling, and it doesn't make any sense. So the lactic acid buildup in this big giant, just it should be enormous. There's no way, even biologically, a scientist will say, well, just the way the oxygen can't be, the acids can't be removed from the bloodstream, but it's just not anatomically possible. And even worse, trying to understand that these giant primates have abundance. They're so huge, their caloric intake must be absolutely ridiculously enormous. And how do they survive? And, you know, so the answer is it's got to be meat sources, because the calories for berries and stuff that they can get, especially in the places where I live, you know, even through, they just couldn't do it without meat. I just don't think it's possible. It's not conceivable. So anyways, the science does not match up with what I've seen and what I've witnessed, unless this species has another something special, something else that's totally amazing and brilliant about it, which wouldn't even surprise me. But so, you know, the two possible answers here are I'm completely wrong, and that might be the case. I know what I know, and these are facts. One of my facts is not actually a fact, or this species is so amazing and exceptional that they've adapted even another ability to remove toxins and from their bloodstream and oxygenate their muscles at a rate like we've never seen in the biology. So, and you know, what a miracle that would be, that this, because we don't know what a real cold weather giant primate is. I mean, these guys are highly original, and nature has outguessed us before. What nature can do is amazing. So, you know, just some science to think about anyways. It didn't sound like much great science, I apologize. But I've just had a ridiculous, one of the worst weeks of my life, and I'll admit it. You could probably see it on my face. It's been an awful week personally for me. So and I've been excited to do this one, this Sasquatch, giant Sasquatch video. So let's get to it without further ado. Here's what are we going to call him? We're going to call him Fernie. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Fernie Bigfoot. This looks so similar to my video too, and what I saw with my own naked eyes looked significantly like this. And I've seen Sasquatch, the longer hair on the arms, the darker color through the shoulders, discoloration on the back, the thickness, the width, the pointed looking kind of head. My goodness, this looks very legit to me. So let's zoom in here. Now the large creature is to the left. I have a little orange mark that's representing 2 inches based on the pine needles from the Douglas fir. Now I've put that 1 inch on his back. You can see the little mark. Let's take that, turn it to 6. Let's take that 6 inches, multiply it by 2. That's 1 foot. Let's multiply that by 6. Let me straighten this out a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 6 foot mark. This individual is 9 foot plus tall. That's down to his glute. Let's turn it sideways and have a look. This is 6 feet across. Look at the traps, the pointed head. This looks like a Sasquatch to me, or a very, very well done hoax. Why would somebody hoax this? Unless this video is out there somewhere, please tell me in the comments. I'm looking 70-30 at this. Let's zoom in a little bit, move around the photo. The story was just simple. A man, you know, logging road, came out, took a photo. That's impressive to me. So 70%. If this is a fake, if this is a fraud, my eyewitnesses and what I've seen and what I've experienced, I'm very, very interested in this photograph. I'm impressed, simply. So you judge for yourself. Comment below. Thank you.